I hope I didn't confuse you that time.
Oh, you did it. Jesus.
Bear with us, everyone. Cassie has got the
Go
plague, and
on.
by the plague, I mean a cold, not
No,
COVID.
thank God. Go on without me.
Anywho, well, I'm just going to keep it rolling then. Anywho, welcome back to Strange Town. I'm Kelly.
Cassie.
She's struggling, you guys. She's here for
I'm
you.
done.
Let's give snaps for Cassie.
And fucking Cassie. Hi.
I did that backwards. I should have said, welcome back to Oddities. I'm Kelly. You're Cassie. Welcome back to Strange Town.
Bum,
Bum,
bum.
bum, bum. It's a crazy ride today, guys. I don't know what to tell you. All of our stuff is linked down below. Follow us on social media. Send us creepy stories. Send us personal creepy stories. Check out our merch. It's amazing. Shout out to Lindsay Bidwell for those amazing new designs. If you aren't following us on Patreon, maybe you should because we're having fun over there and all you have to do is like $1.
That's
It.
it.
And you get bonus content with these 2 gems.
That's right. That's exactly what we are. Just a pair of gems. Thank you for taking the lead on that one.
I felt like
Thank
I
you.
needed to.
That's fine.
Before we started recording today, Cassie and I were doing like just a little business meeting
Yep.
kind of a thing. And, just getting our ducks in a row for the next few weeks to come for y'all. And we got in the subject of business meeting or business
Yep.
trips and how they tend to not be fun. Sometimes they throw in things. And with Cassie's recent business trip, I wanted to say a rodeo and a hoedown, but I came down with hodeo.
It was a rodeo for hoes. That's AKA a hodeo.
So, anywho, that's what you guys missed in that conversation. How are we,
that.
bestie?
How are we? I'm fine. First of all, I want to say a huge shout out to all of my friends at Global HMA. It's they're like a marketing firm that I work with, through work, and I'd like to think of them also as friends. And I had a business lunch with them, like this, by the way.
Nice.
And they are now listening to this. So snaps for Global HMA. Thank you, everybody in the office. You guys are the bomb.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to, the shit show. And what else is happening? I've mostly just been like hobbling my way through work. I went to Nashville for work. I want to say it was fun, but it was literally 99% work and then the hodeo. But the hodeo was fun. And that was at the Wild Horse Saloon. I know.
Nice.
They had killer barbecue, by the way, everybody. That was like fucking delicious. And aside from that, Corey's got a bunch of travel coming up. So it's going to be kind of a wild few weeks here. But we are going to the Finger Lakes in New York for just a quick little weekend getaway with the two of us, and that'll be fun ski.
I cannot get over that name. It bothers me so much.
I know, so gross. So gross. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I think one other thing. Luckily yesterday, well, I got a lot done, but then I pretty much laid on the couch for a while. I binged the entire season it's a show called Red Rose. It's on Netflix. It is actually really, really good and intense and weird. So highly recommend. It's like a thriller. They call it horror, but there's not really like. It's like a thriller. I don't know, whatever it was, and they're all like British, so it's like fun to listen to. And that's it. What's new for you?
Not a lot. My husband, Michael, got promoted, so he's actually starting that new position tomorrow. So congratulations, honey. I know you're listening. He listens to us on his way home from work, and I think that's
so
hilarious.
Nice. Corey doesn't listen to us, so God bless Michael.
So that's super fun. I received the highest of compliments this last week, and I've been dying to tell you about it, but I purposely had to leave it for the show because it was just too
Oh my
freaking
god, I'm
good.
so excited.
Okay. So, a very good friend of mine went on a trip last weekend to visit her friend from college. They've been best friends for 10
Fun.
years. And, they're hanging out, they're just chilling. And he's like, okay, you keep talking about all these people. I know about Kelly. I know about this person. I know about that. But he goes, I need to see faces to names because I feel like I know them at this point. And she's like, that's fair. So she shows him a photo of me, and it happens to be a beautiful photo of me at Cassie's wedding, all
I
glammed
love,
up,
love, love, love.
right? And he goes, wow, she's beautiful. She looks like she could both kill me and assist the FBI in finding my body without being
Oh,
caught.
that is the highest of compliments. Oh my god.
I am
Is she
flattered.
an assassin or is she a principal amazing investigator? That's awesome.
I was speechless and I said, I am thrilled
God bless.
and honored to be given that
That's
title
incredible.
because thank
Oh my
you.
god.
And everybody I've told this story to, which by the way is like two others, my husband and another friend, they go, that's incredibly
That
accurate.
is accurate. I would agree with that, but that is oh, chef's kiss. That's a beautiful compliment. Amazing.
So I've been like writing on that compliment literally all week because
Hell
I found
yeah.
out about it last Sunday. And then on top of it, wonderful Southern California has been getting snow,
No.
and my little frozen heart is so damn
That's
happy.
so exciting.
It's not sticking, but waking up every morning to a blanket of snow makes me very
That's so
happy.
pretty.
So,
That's so great. I'm jealous because it's been like an insanely mild winter for us.
yeah, so I have a friend in Philadelphia,
Hi,
Audrey. You know Audrey.
Audrey. Yep.
Hi, Audrey. And I've been sending Snapchats all week, right? You've been the receiving
I
end of
have.
this. And she goes, dude, I'm just jealous. I haven't gotten any
So
snow.
we've had like I think like maybe two quote unquote snowstorms, and they've been like so weak. It's just like so weak.
It's so
Yeah.
mild. Yeah. I also want to, this is just hilarious. I'm in LA County. My parents are in Ventura County. We've both been under blizzard warnings this whole week. And it's such a bizarre thing in the state of California, Southern California specifically, to be getting those. Um, what's funny, I was like, well, I lived in Idaho for 7 years. We got some gnarly snow there.
Yeah.
I know what to do, kind of a thing. It was a normal snow day in Idaho.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say
It wasn't, but people who have never
right,
left here, who have never seen the
right,
snow, oh yeah, totally, it was a blizzard,
right.
100%.
I know. I was just gonna be like, is it a blizzard or is it a California blizzard, aka a dusting? Like, is it like right?
Exactly though, but we had like this mix of rain and snow and
Oh,
wind,
so
and
everybody
it was
collectively
intense.
shit their pants.
Um,
I love that.
yeah. Also, I want to point out the first day that I woke up to snow and it was actually still falling too, right? My brain and my eyes and my neck, they weren't connected yet.
Same.
It was like 5 in the morning, and I'm at my kitchen sink. I'm looking out the window and I was like, "This is how you know I grew up in Southern California and I haven't seen snow in a while." I went, "Oh shit! There's a fire somewhere. There's ash falling." It's been 3 years since I moved from Idaho, and I desperately miss the snow
Oh
falling,
my god.
apparently, because that one, I was like, whoa, that was sad. And those are the two story times I
Oh
had
my
for you
god.
that I told you about
You killed
yesterday.
it on this intro. I had nothing for this week except for my hodeo, and it wasn't even my thing. You said hodeo. I haven't even. Oh my god, you totally carried the team. Thank you for that.
I gotta do what I gotta do. Bestie's got the plague, and I gotta
You are
carry on.
just.
And also, I don't know what's been going on. I'm gonna say that now, listeners. I'm not sick, but for some reason, my voice keeps going in and out like a pubescent boy. So
Oh,
I'm
I love that for
sorry.
you. My two coworkers, I had a call. Hi, Susie. Hi, Hannah. They're like also my buds. They're not just coworkers. They're the bomb, and they listen to this. I had every Friday we have a call. We call it Porty Porple Frodor, and I'm not going to get into why we call it that because it's a lot,
But I
right?
love
And
it.
it's basically we take a 30-minute call where we all like we take turns. We pick a song for the week, or like sometimes I do tarot readings, even though I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. And like we just like it's just like 30 minutes of just like shoot the shit. The week's over. Like let's just have a good Friday and wrap this shit up. Anyway, I had my call with them, and like my voice right now, you can hear is like a little like it's like a little like husky. It's like a little whatever. And they were like, We
Mm,
collectively decided as a side hustle right now while I'm sick, I should like narrate romance audiobooks.
I back
Some
this
audio smut.
250,000%. I do it,
Listen,
bestie.
we love
Do
some
it.
extra bank, so don't tempt me with a good time.
Let's.
I will sit here and tell you about how he unbuttoned her blouse or whatever.
Oh my gosh, you could start a podcast that's like only books
Only books.
instead of OnlyFans.
I love it. Do you know how much money I'd probably make?
Nobody take that. Cassie's
Nobody
gonna
take
do
it.
it.
Trademarked. It's in recording. You're all fucked if you do it. We'll fucking sue the shit out of you. uh, Also, I know we're at our traditional 10-minute mark where we usually switch over to actually doing the show, but I just want to say one more thing. We've had just like, I feel like some of our listeners have, like, a lot of people have written in lately. Somebody increased their Patreon donation. Like, just want to say a big thank you as always for the support. Our listeners are the best
Yes, big
listeners.
thank you. They are, and like every time we get an email and I get to read it and or respond because sometimes you get to them before I do. Um,
We have like a
I
50-50.
just get really excited because I just was telling Michael about this, like how much joy the podcast is bringing me and how much I love doing this and like how much I look forward to recording or editing. You guys have no idea. I guess like some people really hate editing. I freaking love that crap so much. So much. And then like yeah, I just enjoy all of this so much. I'm so like grateful that Cassie brought me on. Like I don't think I gave her a choice, I'll be
I'm so grateful you
honest.
wanted to do it. So we're just
But this has been just so wonderful, and like how supportive our listeners are, our Odd fam is just
Odd Fam's the coolest.
it makes everything
It does.
phenomenal.
Snaps for the Odd Fam. All right. And now
And now we're done with that
12 minutes.
touchy shit.
12 minutes, here we are. Should we do it?
Yes. Do you want to go
Okay.
first?
So,
Okay.
okay. Today, I'm covering John Dee's Spirit Mirror. And this is from listener Emily, longtime listener / awesome individual Emily. Hi, Emily. You're the bomb.com.
Hi, Emily.
So, anyway, a spirit mirror from one John Dee. Let me get into this. So, it's made of obsidian. By the way, automatically really cool and like a boss move. But anyway, it's a spirit
Yep.
mirror, and it was used by John Dee, who was an advisor to England's Elizabeth I. And this mirror, it turns out recently, they've actually found it traces its origins to Aztec culture. So we're going to get into that in a second. But anywho, John Dee was a Renaissance polymath whose interests ranged from everything from like astronomy all the way to astrology to alchemy to math. He had like a he was just like a he was interested in a lot of shit, and he advised the queen from the start of her reign in 1558 through to the 1570s. He was a court astrologer and a scientific advisor, and he advocated for overseas exploration and the establishment of colonies. We loved everything about this until he said the establishment of colonies, and then we stopped loving him. And by we, I mean me and my multiple
Yep.
personalities when I was researching this. So, anyway, he becomes later involved in like divination and the occult. He wants to talk to angels through the use of scryers, which are those who divine the future through like different like looking objects. I've covered actually, if you guys are interested, I covered scrying like way back towards the beginning of the podcast. So like Baby Cassie, go check it out. But anyway,
Baby
Baby
Cassie.
Cassie. So they would use artifacts like mirrors, crystals. Sometimes it's like a bowl of water, basically like reflective surfaces. Yeah. And now this mirror, this famed spirit mirror that John Dee used, is owned by the British Museum, and it's on display in London alongside two similar circular obsidian mirrors and a rectangular obsidian slab that may be like a portable altar. And researchers had previously suspected that the artifacts originated with the Aztecs, and like a recent study confirmed this, like chemically. So that's very cool. Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
um, using a like, I'm going to talk a little bit about how they confirm this. So they used like a portable X-ray fluorescence scanner. The research team like measured the proportions of titanium, iron, strontium, and some other like a handful of other chemicals or elements rather, and compared them with those found in obsidian that's like native to Mexico in like known Aztec regions. And the scholars determined that his mirror and one of the others from their collection originated in Pachuca, which is just northeast of Mexico City. And the third mirror and that like slab portable altar thing came from Ucario, which was 150 miles west from the other region. Both regions, though, were under Aztec control in the early 16th century. So the Aztecs would use obsidian for like medicinal purposes, and they viewed its reflective surface as a shield against bad spirits. And I've heard this like a lot of times, not necessarily about this whole shield thing, but just like obsidian in general is like kind of, I feel like a buzz stone, if you will, for like spiritual, like ghosty, spookala things. Um,
Okay.
but anyway, it's a volcanic glass, as we know, and it's associated also with death, the underworld, and capturing the image or soul of a person. So, like other Mesoamericans, the Aztecs saw mirrors as doorways to other worlds, which is kind of like, I mean, it's like kind of gives like to me like Alice through the Looking Glass vibes, but whatever. Anyway, the idea is once you deeply gaze in, you've kind of opened up this connection. And that's kind of the whole backbone behind scrying. If you go back and listen to the other episode, it's like you kind of like if you look at something long enough, you kind of supposedly enter sort of this like trance like hypnotic sort of state or whatever. And that's kind of the whole
Hmm.
thing behind scrying. But anyway, the Aztec god, I'm gonna fuck up the name of this, Tezcatlipoca, aka Smoking Mirror, is frequently depicted wearing mirrors that allow him to see humans' thoughts and actions. And there's like a very specific association with these types of mirrors and this deity. There is also something called codices, which are manuscripts made by like indigenous peoples around the time of the Spanish conquest that depict circular mirrors in kind of what looks like frames. And examples of these artifacts date to the later part of the Mesoamerican post classic period, which spans from 900 to about 1520 CE. And they think that, like, well into an early colonial era, indigenous peoples probably continued to produce mirrors and mirror like artifacts. So, as for when John Dee's mirror uh, comes from like the Aztec Empire over to England, it's like not really known, and we don't really know how he acquired this artifact. But some say that he was interested in the Spanish conquest and had probably heard stories about obsidian mirrors. And at the time, many European scholars and nobles were fascinated by objects arriving on the continent from these distant cultures. And so research around all of this is actually pretty important because it helps us to understand something sort of like the way in which European voyages of discovery and engagement with other parts of the world, although usually those were like disastrous and like conquest oriented, but how it was matched by new intellectual attempts to try and understand how the world worked in other areas. So, D, some say, may have bought the mirror in Bohemia, which is now part of the Czech Republic, in the 1580s. And by that time, he was becoming like very interested in occult practices. He was interested in like mediums and how they were using mirrors and crystal balls to communicate with angels and other supernatural beings, which I think is really interesting because now they've got this whole like quote unquote occult stuff and connecting it with like angels. Kind of
Yeah.
interesting, right? Because like normally the two like
Very
are
interesting.
like meh.
They don't
Right.
collide.
So
Yeah.
mirrors also have a long history of use within European magical practices. So the attraction of a mirror of a novel material like this obsidian coming from like this exotic culture with stories of its use for divination and like the drama of seeing like these dimly reflected images within its like shiny surface, it made for like probably like this very like ooh object for this John Dee to use in the royal like
Yeah.
court and whatever else. There's also like several other magical objects that are connected with this dude. There's a rock crystal ball, two wax discs engraved with magical figures and names used by Dee when he was consulting his like spirit mirror. There's also a gold engraved disc engraved with a complex diagram of one of Edward Kelly's visions, which I can cover Edward Kelly in another um, episode, but he's like kind of like into the same shit that like John Dee was and everything else. And then there's also like an
Oh, okay.
18th century wooden case covered in tooled leather and labeled in the handwriting of, I guess, this notable figure called Horace Walpole. I didn't look into Horace. I don't know much about him. So if you guys are interested, I can look into him. But anyway, so basically, long story short, this mirror was used by John Dee to theoretically contact angels. And for 10 years, Dee, alongside this scryer, who's like kind of, again, this notable figure, would receive these messages through the mirror. And Dee believed that the messengers were angels. Some thought they were demons and begged to end the rituals. Um, so yeah, and then D he just like had this whole like career of consulting and advising Queen Elizabeth I. He had this whole thing with like academic thought, and he turned to the heavens in search of older wisdom. He also created something called a holy table, which was anchored by hermetic sigils, which is like, I'm pretty sure that has something to do with alchemy, upon which like this mirror would act as this portal to commune with the other worlds. And John Dee,
Ooh.
I don't know, like people were like, I guess into it, but other people were like really questioning some of this stuff. And you know, there is a an art historian added a handwritten note to a poem called Hudibras, kind of about D and like this stuff, and it says, and it's also about. It mentions Edward Kelly too. It says Kelly did all his feats upon the devil's looking glass, a stone, where playing with him at Bo Peep, he solved all problems, never so deep. So yeah, I mean,
That gives a very
I
eerie
don't
feel to
spookala
it.
bookala, but that's pretty much what I could find about the
Yes.
spirit mirror. Like John Dee was kind of this weird dude. They call here's what's really interesting to me is like over and over again in everything that I was reading when I was looking up about this, they kept referring to him as like a scientist, and he was like in the sciences and like alchemy and like all this stuff. And I get that like in the 1500s, like we all had like a very different definition of science and whatnot, but it's just so interesting to me that like all of his supposed scientific work that he was doing and advising and academic work and everything else is connected with something that's so today considered not scientific and like occult and like you know what I mean?
How far we've
I
come.
know. It's just like it's like such a harsh contrast to how things are now. So anyway, that's John
Yeah.
Dee's spirit mirror. It was basically this slab of obsidian that from one way or another, probably not a pleasant background, made its way from the Aztecs over to this guy. And there you have it.
That's
I know,
crazy.
it was a lot of fun to research. We know I love my history, so thank you, Emily. And I guess, my biggest advice to anybody is probably, first of all, don't try scrying, because I think, like, anybody's going to see shit if they stare at a mirror long enough. But, like, also,
Very
I don't
fair.
know, maybe find something better to do with your time. Also, I don't think angels would talk to us
Yeah.
through obsidian. That's just my personal belief, if angels exist. The end. Stay
The end.
strange. Bye. Bye, everybody. But yeah, that's the spear mirror. I mean, what do you think about it all? Do you think it's possible? I don't know.
Um, I do. I think that like there's a lot of weird things with mirrors,
Yeah,
period, kind of a
yeah.
thing. Um, these elements that are woven into this, obviously, um, bring up like other questions and curiosities. But also the whole time I couldn't stop thinking of that like mirror portal thing in the first movie of Harry Potter,
Oh
where
yeah,
he kept seeing his
yeah, yeah,
parents,
yeah.
but Ron saw himself winning the Quidditch
Right,
Cup,
right,
kind of a
right.
thing. That's what kept coming to my mind. Um, I had to agree. Don't is squiring. Is that what it's called?
Scrying. It's like crying. It's crying, but
Scrying.
with an S in the
Crying with
front. Yeah.
scrying. Yeah, I would agree. Don't do that.
I
Maybe.
mean, like, I go ahead.
No, no. Go
So
ahead.
like, and I also covered Bloody Mary in an episode. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Bloody Mary and like hallucinations, in my opinion, along those lines are the result of something like scrying. I mean, think about it. You're staring in a mirror, you're chanting some shit, you're kind of entering maybe this sort of translate like state, and you're gonna see some crazy shit.
You have a really good
Thank
point
you.
there. Like, I did not think about it like
Yeah.
that. That. Mm,
So like, do I actually think when
mm.
people look in these objects that they necessarily see ghosts or things like that? Personally, no, but I'm not gonna hate on anybody that does believe it. I just think that they're probably getting fucked up from staring at something for so long. Like, I don't know.
I mean, and especially when you're doing Bloody Mary, aren't you supposed to be doing that in a dark room,
Dark
no
or
lights?
like one candle or
Your
some shit. So it's like,
Yeah, your eyes start doing weird things when because they're adjusting to their
yeah, yeah,
surroundings. So, I mean, I used to play hide and seek in complete pitch black. It was like something my sisters and I used to do when we
tight.
were kids. And we would turn off all the lights, we would sit on the couch, wait for our eyes to adjust to be able to see,
Right,
and then proceed. So, I mean, your eyes do weird things too in certain elements.
right, big time. So it's just kind of anyway. That's my
So,
personal thought on the matter. Anywho, what do you have for us? What do you have for us this week?
I'm diving deep down the Hawaiian myths and legends
Oh, we're
again.
back in Hawaii. Fun.
We're back in Hawaii. Um, when you hear Beware of the Night Marchers, what do you think?
The Night Marchers? Wow,
Yes.
I don't know, something freaky that well happens at night. But also like night watchers reminds me of like night crawlers, and then I think about like bugs. So I don't
That's fair.
know.
The legend states the Night Marchers are the spirits of ancient warriors previously tasked with protecting Hawaiian
Oh, neat.
chiefs, and they can be spotted in different places in Hawaii, all in all different parts of the islands, roaming only at night, protecting the
Oh, that's
land.
kind of neat. Okay.
Some say that the Night Marchers are death-dealing
Oh,
ghosts.
ooh, I love that. That's
Yes,
spicy.
yes.
Death dealing ghost.
Folklore describes them as a group of spirits, sometimes traveling with ancient Hawaiian gods or goddesses in their midst, that march down mountainsides after sunset. The procession is often accompanied by the sound of a conch shell and rhythmic drumming.
Oh, so they like bring a party with them too. That's kind of fun, funky,
Definitely.
and also fresh.
One website quoted in life, these warriors supposedly traveled at night to protect people so scared that the common man was never allowed to look at them. Breaking that rule meant death.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
it is believed now, if you are roaming the roads of Hawaii at night and you hear drums, the night marchers are coming, and you must lay on your stomach and pretend that you are dead and not look at them.
Wow, freaky.
Otherwise, you may be
You
dead.
know, 100% if I encounter that shit though, there's not a chance in hell I wouldn't look. Like, I mean,
I can't
like it's
stop.
yeah, exactly. It's like, oh my God, it's like when I was a kid. This is not at all related, but it is kind of. It's like when I was a kid, my brother would sit across from me at the table. And like when we were eating mashed potatoes, he would put a whole lot of mashed potatoes in his mouth and then he would ooze them back out of his mouth at me. And it was really upsetting to me. And my mom was like, "Don't look." And I'd go like this. It's like one of those things where you can't not look. Anyway, that's me with the night marchers. Carry on.
Don't look. I need everyone to understand what Cassie just did, though. She put her hands over her eyes and then opened her fingers to look.
Exactly. So anyway, that would
It was
that's
phenomenal.
exactly what I would be doing with the night marchers. Carry on.
In case of an encounter, according to multiple people in Hawaii, people should always be hopeful the ghost warriors will take mercy on them. Whether or not they hear them approaching due to wind or being in the wrong place at the wrong time, if the night marchers are not merciful, people will hear a shriek of Oya, which means let them be pierced, and death will follow.
So do they just die from them saying that? Because that's kind of cool. Or do we know how they die? What they do?
Well, let them be pierced makes me
They're
think that they're
stabbed.
being stabbed with like a spear of some sort,
Okay. I guess my
something.
question is like, is it actually a spear or is it just like an otherworldly like spear where they're like, be pierced, and then they're just like dead? You know what I mean? Oh
It's a
yeah, you
spiritual
know what I mean.
pierce.
So yeah, that's crazy
Yeah.
shit.
No, that's a one website I found says if a person is lucky and is related even distantly to any of the night marchers, they will be spared. They'll shout no, which means mine,
Oh.
indicating the warriors has recognized them as a descendant, and the procession will pass them uh, without causing them
Oh,
harm.
interesting. Okay, so we have like a okay.
So, you
That's
know,
good.
they care about their family.
Yeah. Nice.
Honolulu Magazine quoted that the Night Marchers' job wasn't to terrorize people, but it was simply to protect the most sacred high ranking chiefs. The Night Marchers showed mercy by traveling at night to spare people from harm. So, like, they didn't want to cause you harm.
No, they're just doing their job.
They tried to
I mean,
avoid it,
they're
but ultimately they had protecting to
I
do.
mean, I get it. Like I get it.
Um,
I wonder what they look
the
like.
Warriors, interesting.
Okay.
Traditionally, when a chief traveled through a village, the warriors would blow a conch shell and beat drums to make others aware that the chief had
Oh,
arrived.
cool.
So, hence that's the noise that follows them
Okay,
now.
that makes
Is
sense.
is
That's
those, which again they're trying to warn you. They don't want to hurt you, but
Well, like
they give you a
they gave
warning.
you a warning. I mean, coincidentally, that's the same way I announce my arrival in a room is with conch shells and rhythmic drums.
You're gonna love this next
Okay, yes.
part.
Okay, cool.
So they would do that to make it aware that the chief had arrived. Commoners were expected to stare at the ground, never making eye contact. The consequences of disobeying this was
Oh
death.
my god, love that. Heavy consequences there. Don't fucking look at me, you'll die.
Chiefs were thought of as a physical representation of
Uh-huh.
gods to them. So that's they had high importance. So the Night Marchers believed their duties were to protect them and continued afterlife as well.
That's cool.
A lot of people say the Night Marchers were ambushed at one
Oh.
point and murdered,
Oh.
likely by colonizers,
Probably. That's the theme of
honestly.
this episode.
So, so them continuing to be Night Marchers in the afterlife and being seen as that is led to believe that they died during the line of duty,
Mm.
essentially.
Mm.
Um, Fun fact about me, my parents met in Hawaii. They were both stationed there. And so growing up, we heard a few great stories about Hawaii. That's why I like covering Hawaii topics. I called my mom yesterday to ask her about the Night Marchers, and she's like, I've actually never heard about the Night
L to
Marchers.
the O to the L. Really?
So, but she talked about, I think it was on the large island, that there's a alleged spirit portal,
Ooh.
and she said I would think that they have something to do with that. And being spirit warriors and protectors, I
I
have to
think
agree.
probably.
And I'm now gonna dive deep into a spirit
Oh,
portal
good.
in a next
Oh,
episode.
good.
So because that was not on my list and it
And
is now.
surprise, bitch. Oh, I love that. Okay, fun.
When I first heard about this, I mean, Hawaii always has myths and legends, and I find them very beautiful. I love hearing about them, especially from natives there. Um, Looking up photos of the night marchers, they seem to be just a tribe of warriors.
Oh, okay. See, I thought they were gonna be
Eh,
like
you know,
freaky.
no, I mean, they got mohawks, but that's not freaky to
No,
me. I'm
that's
just
cool. That's
saying.
like style
At
points.
least this painting, yeah. Um, so this leaves a lot of questions as to if you started hearing drumming, would you just immediately play Dead Like a Possum? Or would you be like Cassie and say, don't look, but look through your fingers?
In other words, would you not be an asshole or would you be an asshole? Like when you when you were
I would never call my bestie an
I know,
asshole.
thank you. I'll do it for you. When you were talking about what they were looking, have you ever seen the second? Is it the second or the? Yeah, I think the second Tomb Raider movie. I think it's Cradle of Life. Have you ever seen it?
Hmm.
Okay, you
Yeah.
know how she's like, and I think she's in Africa at one point, and they're like, it's nighttime, and they're going towards like, I think it's like the caves where Pandora's box is or whatever, and there's these like crazy shadow creatures. That's what I was picturing these dudes as.
That's
You
fair.
know?
That's completely, memory unlocked.
Now we got. That's a great movie.
Memory from that
I'm gonna
movie
need to watch that
unlocked.
shit
I know what I'm doing
big
later
time.
today.
Anyway, that's what I was picturing.
Um,
Like I wasn't picturing them like in my mind, yeah, like they're the spirits of these warriors or whatever. But in the afterlife, They're like these crazy, like, you know what I mean? So, anyway,
Yeah. I kind of love the idea that they're still on
me
the line
too.
of duty in the afterlife, still protecting spirits. And when I look at Hawaiian culture and I look at the horrific things that were done there, because Hawaii too was
Yeah.
too colonized, um, I don't know. I just kind of find it beautiful that even in the afterlife, the spirits are trying to protect.
Yeah.
And I think that's like some people are like, oh, that's sad that they're trapped. Maybe they're doing what they want to be
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, like,
You
if
know,
you're tied to something that's so like duty oriented, I feel like naturally it's something that like your heart feels right doing. So like if that's the case, then
that's
like I'm
fair.
happy if they're like down to be doing their thing. Maybe like being a night crawler is like an
Yes,
elective position. Maybe you could be like, yeah, I want to continue this, or yeah, I don't. Or no, I don't rather.
I want to try something
Yeah, like
else.
let me go hang out at the spirit portal instead.
So I might hang out at the spirit
I would
portal. I'm
big
not
time
gonna
hang
lie
out
to
at the
you.
spirit portal.
Um,
100%.
I'm not gonna lie. If I were to start hearing rhythmic drumming in a conch shell, I might
Would you?
hide because I might shit
Oh my
myself.
god.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I was looking,
Um,
I'd probably still shit myself, but I'm still gonna.
I think about. I don't know. I think for me, with me experiencing all of the sleep paralysis
Big
that I
time.
do,
Yeah.
I'm like, not today. I will play dead like a possum, no problem.
Not tonight, Satan.
And I might have a problem though because I like dancing to drums. So
So you won't be looking, but you'll just be getting down with the get down. Maybe they're thinking that you're just like a dead body that like is, bodies move even after you die. So
do they know that?
they are supernatural soldiers. I'm gonna go with yes. They know that shit. We're
Yeah.
good. Like all powerful beings.
So that's my cat. If anyone just heard that, I'm sorry. Apparently she wanted to be on the podcast.
Cooper's in here too.
Anywho, that is the legend. Okay, your cats are well behaved.
Thank you. She's my favorite child of all of them. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
I love her too. Anyways, that is the legend of the Night
Well
Marchers.
done.
Let us know if you believe in them. Let us know if maybe you've ever encountered
Oh my
them.
god, if anybody,
We want to,
I would shit.
if anybody's ever like, well, yeah, but also like, we really want to do another listeners episode. So
Yeah, we have
seriously,
like I think one or
if you have
one or
somewhere,
two lined up. We needed just a couple more.
yeah. So if you guys have anything, let us know. But if it's like specifically oriented to something that happened to you in Hawaii, I'm down.
Kelly's extra down, and she'll
Let
be
me know.
reading that one.
Yes, I'm all
we'll
over
take
that.
we'll take your supernatural experiences in any form.
That's just
True.
facts.
Well, that was really interesting. I'm liking this Hawaii shit. I'm excited for Spirit Portal, but like that's
I
gonna be
have so much Hawaii shit. I have so much Hawaii shit that honestly, I think after the next one I have lined up, I'm just going to be doing a Hawaii series
Oh
at
my
this
god,
point.
so it's gonna be we need to change our name, like Oddities, a podcast of the tropical by the curious.
Maybe I'll break it up. Maybe I'll do it every other
Okay.
episode.
That works. I love
So,
it. Well,
but yeah, that's yeah, I guess the theme of this episode is colonizing is bad. Don't do
colonizing
it.
is bad. Okay.
Um and maybe don't stare at mirrors for too long. And if you hear drumming, play
Or
dead.
don't and let us know what you see.
Or don't. Like whatever floats your boat. I don't really
And
care.
say no, right? Isn't that the word for mine?
It was no, it was what the warriors say to
Oh,
them.
okay.
If the warriors
Damn.
recognize you as an
Shit.
ancestor or a
Oh my god.
descendant.
Okay, so I can't even do that.
Um,
Okay. All right. I thought if you,
but what they say is, uh, where did it go? I lost it.
okay.
No,
No.
I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't know. So
You don't know.
I don't know.
All right.
You know
Well,
what?
stick a fork in us. We're
On
done.
that note,
Yeah.
until next time.
Stay strange.